Welcome to Postcards from Success, my friends. Thank you for joining us today. I am joined by two San Diego entrepreneurs and small business owners. I have joining me Nicole Stone and Birgit Witherspoon. Ladies, thank you for joining me today on Postcards from Success.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. Well, let me, I'll do a brief introduction and then I'll let you guys say a little bit more before we get into the questions. Nicole Stone is an acupuncturist and an herbalist from Remember to Breathe, which provides acupuncture, massage, herbal supplements, and cleanses, and is located in Pacific Beach, or PB as we call it, in San Diego. And then Birgit Witherspoon, well, I've known her for many, many years, and she runs Be Balanced out of Bay Park, and she is a holistic health counselor. She does also nutrition, herbal supplements, cleanses. She cures what ails you. She does the blood type diet, which we'll talk about a little bit. And I also like to say she cures you of your bad habits. So, Nicole, do you want to expound a little bit on what Remember to Breathe does and how that you help people?
Sure. I've been in practice for 18 years, and I'm an acupuncturist and an herbalist. And I work with mostly families. I would say out of that, about 80% of my clients are female. And I do a lot of work in the area of gynecology, fertility, menopause, all those different things. And then through the years, they also bring their husbands in, and women have brought their children in. And I have a large pediatric practice also.
Oh, wow.
From infant to teens. For a lot of infants and small kids, I'm treating a lot of digestive issues and allergies, and then older kids, a lot of stress and pain issues, and especially with high school sports and everything. And then I have a massage therapist that works beside me, and she focuses mostly in sports therapy and massage.
Okay. And Birgit, tell us a little bit more about Be Balanced.
I have been in business for 11 years now, and as you mentioned, I started out as a counselor and found out very quickly that I wasn't that passionate about just counseling, so I had to add in some hands-on. And by the way, Thomas, I don't cure anything. I just help people get their bodies back in balance and help themselves heal. Yeah. Very similar to Nicole, the vast majority of my clientele is women. They tend to take better care of themselves than men usually.
Okay. Well, I can't argue with that. You know me too well for me to argue that.
And kids too, teenagers as well. Of course, also husbands often are being dragged in more or less. So I added the blood type diet, and one very important piece is the emotional trigger removal. And all that in a package, helping people navigate the traps of the food industry so that they don't poison themselves pretty much or fall into addiction with overeating and things like that. It's very rewarding.
Well, that makes sense. One of the things that I discovered, and one of the things that excited me about having both of you on, is that you have formed an alliance similar to an alliance that I created in my business. I looked on your website, Nicole, and saw that you have the Healthy by the Beach Practitioners Alliance. So you have a lot of health practitioners that have banded together, and you guys exchange referrals, and I would imagine some crossover business.
Correct. It really makes a difference when you're creating community. I was in Point Loma for 11 years, and I just moved my practice over. We expanded and got a bigger place and moved to Pacific Beach last May. And I realized all the people that I knew over there, all the other professionals, that they were still there, but I kind of needed to start that over again in the new community that I was in. And that's when I decided to redo my LinkedIn profile, and I went on Alignable, and I started meeting other new practitioners within the Pacific Beach community, and we started creating Healthy by the Beach, and we refer to each other, and we find us that have similar things in common, what we want for our clients, really trying to make a whole health, because someone can come in for acupuncture, for pain relief, or headaches, but a lot of time there's other issues that they need to deal with also, like for migraines, they may have food allergies, and the best person I'm going to send them to is Birgit to have her take care of that end, so they get more benefit out of their acupuncture treatments.
Okay. And because this show, we not only talk about the businesses, but we like to talk about the ideas that entrepreneurs have. And so where did you come up with this originally? Was this something that you were doing in Point Loma and you wanted to, as you mentioned, restart it in PB, or was it born of the move? And then how did you find the people that you aligned yourself with?
This actually started when I first opened my business in Point Loma, and that first year I started working with a business coach, and as he was teaching me how to build my business, and other than just getting referrals from patients that I already had, he's like, get out there, meet every business person around you that's in alignment with what you do. Meet yoga instructors, Pilates instructors, nutritionists, chiropractors. And I just got out and walked. I mean, I drove all around Point Loma. I looked online to see who was around me, and I just walked into every business and brought my business cards and invited people for coffee, or invited them in for a complimentary treatment, just so they could get to know me and I could get to know them better, because the closer and better relationship we have together, the more you're going to refer to each other.
Absolutely.
The better you know each other's personality and their clients and what they're looking for. And I just spent a good 5 years just really building up really great relationships with people, and it made a huge difference in the growth of my practice and what I was able to offer my clients. And I wanted to continue that.
Well, and what I love that you mentioned is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard you mention you had a business coach.
Yes.
See, I'm coached too, and I believe in that. And you went out and got face to face with people. So even though we're in a social media tech-driven world, it still came down to getting face to face and voice to voice with people.
Exactly. It's so easy to just delete an email, or, you mean your emails and your Instagrams and Facebook. It just gets so over inundated that it's so easy to go, oh yeah, I'll check it tomorrow. But if someone walks into your office and smiles and offers to shake your hand and take you to coffee, and this is what I can provide you, and you start building a really great rapport and a great relationship.
It's good advice. Birgit, I want to shift gears for a minute. I want to talk about Be Balanced, and then we'll jump over to you, Nicole, and talk about your business. How did you I know you mentioned you wanted to do more than just be a counselor. So is that what Be Balanced was born of, is that desire to do more?
Certainly. From my background from Germany, for my education, I know the power of food and the healing powers particularly, or how it can also set you up for illness. Mm-hmm. And my struggle here in the United States was I wanted to go back to school to hone my skills, but I didn't believe in the traditional nutrition schools, what they teach. So finding a school that provided me with a holistic approach and still gave me all the information I needed turned out to be a health counselor certification. And I took that simply to get an advancement, so to speak. I have always been very hands-on. So in school when I was there and started my practice, I wasn't that aware that I needed to be hands-on in order to find my passion and be very happy in what I do. Working with a coach, of course, very important. No matter for how long you're in business, you work with a coach is my philosophy, because even athletes do it, Olympic athletes do it. So why not us? And there was that, okay, what do you really want? Where is your passion? What else do you need to fulfill that? And it became clear that I wanted to help people more in depth instead of just talking to them.
Yep.
I wanted to provide a better service, a quicker service, so to speak, because just talking to them can take forever before they make a change.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the rah-rah session in the office, and then they leave and they go right back to their habits.
Exactly. However, if you can provide a success right then and there that they see, that they feel, that they can touch, can experience, then the likelihood of them being compliant and making a change is much, much bigger.
Yeah.
And it's much easier for them too. So that is how kinesiology came into my life. And when I was introduced to it, it was crystal clear from the very beginning. I said, I have to learn this because there is no guesswork anymore.
Yep.
The body gives up all its little dirty secrets, and that's the beauty of it.
So, and I'm going to share with something with our audience that you already know, which is a backhanded compliment. When I first met Birgit and I saw what she did a demonstration, and she's holding all these vials of herbs and minerals, and she's levitating them over people's bodies that are basically laying on what would look like a massage table, and putting her hand above them and taking these readings. And I thought, okay, this is voodoo. This is nonsense. I don't get it. So I poo-pooed it. And I've known her for a lot longer than I've been a patient of hers. But then I finally went to her one day. I think I was sick. And she, even though she says she doesn't cure, I got over being sick a heck of a lot faster than I would have with over-the-counter medicine or going to the doctor, having done both in the past. And then since then, I started going to her to lose weight, cleanses, aches and pains. So she does the gamut, and I still don't understand how it all works, but maybe like you can give us the Reader's Digest version of what you're doing for people when they come into your office. Cause I mean, they're coming in for everything from, they might have a body ache to they want to lose weight, or they want to quit smoking, or they're battling cancer. What are you doing for people?
So in a nutshell, what I do is I customize a wellness program for them, because when it comes to nutrition and healing, a one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work. We are all individuals, and unfortunately, we don't take that into consideration anymore in general. So I do an assessment with them, and there are perfectly generally healthy foods that can be poison for you based on your blood type. And most people are not aware of that. And when you can take out, for example, those stressors, because that is stress to the body actually has a very fair chance to heal itself.
So explain that a little. We brought up the blood type diet. This was new to me. I learned this from you. I'm doing a horrible job of following it because it's very, I mean, if you follow it to the letter, it does strip away a lot of the foods you're used to eating. And my argument with you was, well, it tastes good to me. So why can't I eat it? This particular meat or this fish or this vegetable tastes good and is healthy in general, but then you're saying, well, no, based on my blood type, it's not. What's the theory behind the blood type diet?
So the theory behind that is, the main thing with blood type diet is what we call lectins, which can wreak havoc with your body in different levels. The ultimate thing that always happens with this inflammation. However, lectins can suppress your thyroid. They can cause blood sugar fluctuations. They can literally wreak havoc with your gut. So you may not notice anything when you eat it, but in the long term, in the long run, your body will be damaged. And the other thing you said, but I like it.
Right.
That's very important. So it's easy for us to override our natural instincts by doing this. I remember when I was a kid, I never liked baked goods, but I had to eat them. So at one point, you start liking them, and then I can come find out with the blood type diet that wheat is my nemesis, and sure enough, when I cut it out, I feel much better. So okay. You can override, and then you become, so to speak, addicted to what doesn't serve you.
So now, would this be then, if you're following, and there's different books that tell you the foods that fit your blood type, if you're following that meal plan, then are you cutting things out of your life like allergies and inflammation and potentially down the road some diseases?
Yes, certainly. So my recommendation is, if you have something serious going on, yes, be 100%, but you brought this up. So I'm not a believer for generally day-to-day life being 100% on it. That's not life. That is boring. I subscribe to the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time you are good, and 20% of the time you enjoy life, and you don't be the party pooper at the social meeting or something like that. You join in and you enjoy it.
Okay.
And when your body is healthy, you get away with that very easily.
So it doesn't set you back if like you do it like Monday through Friday to the letter, and then on the weekends you let your freak flag fly, and it won't be a setback come Monday?
It will set you back a little bit.
Okay.
What I said, when you are healthy, you might get away with it. You might not be like, oh my gosh, now I suffer for the rest of the week.
Okay. So the key is you got to get healthy first.
Correct.
Before you start cheating. Okay.
I don't even call it cheating. You make a choice.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So I want to shift over to Nicole for a minute, because the name of your business, Remember to Breathe, it cracked me up, and I thought it was very unique because that gets said so often in business. Even my coach, stop, breathe, take a breath. When people are coming to you, what typically is causing them to look you up and come in and try you out? What are they suffering from?
Oh, let's see. I have a lot of different. Well, I would say in the area of pain, most people are I'm kind of the last resort. Most people are either trying to avoid surgery, or they've already done 1 or 2 cortisone injections and they don't want to do another one. Or they have an issue that it's going to be a long-term chronic case. I get a lot of issues of the spine, herniated discs.
Okay.
Where the doctors don't want to do surgery, or it's going to be something that's going to be an issue for a long time in their life. And they want pain relief that's more natural.
Okay.
And that's where acupuncture comes in and can really help reduce inflammation and gets more circulation. And in Chinese medicine, we call that qi. So qi is that energy that pumps the blood and moves body fluids and stuff through the body. And when your qi flow is good and everything is moving, then all areas of the body, the organs, the muscles, and tissues are healing and taken care of. And when we have an injury, inflammation, that's when that qi stagnates, and that's when disease begins. So the acupuncture needles go in and they help stimulate the different nerves and get that qi body fluids and blood moving to bring oxygen and nutrients to the areas to help the healing process.
Yeah, I've had acupuncture in the past too, and I guess my complaint about it is, to me it's almost like massage. You feel great while it's happening, and maybe for like an hour or so after, but it doesn't seem to last. Is that my personal experience, or is that typical?
Well, this is like what my teachers have always told me, that acupuncture isn't there, kind of like what we do with nutrition. It's not there you're not coming in for one treatment to heal something and you're going to walk away and everything's great.
Right.
It's actually opening up, moving the blockages so your body can begin the healing process.
Okay.
But if you go back and start doing the exact same stuff you're already doing, eating the foods that aren't serving your body, if you have some kind of repetitive motion job and you're typing and you have carpal tunnel issues, or you're just going to go back out and golf for the whole weekend and you've got issues with your elbow, inflammation. Well, yeah, it's going to make it feel better, but if you're going to go back out and re-injure it, everything's going to show up again. So
what you're talking about is people not only have to go in for the treatment, but they got to change the habits.
Yes, you have to change the habits. And really, acupuncture is meant to be a preventative care therapy. Whereas most people, we're in a Western society where you don't go to the doctor until you're practically crawling into the doctor. Like,
yeah.
I'm at the worst. I can't handle it any longer.
That's probably why you get more women than men, because I don't know what it is, but we just will not tap out.
Exactly. No. And the whole point it's really an education process too. When people come in to work with me, I sit down and I take a good hour and a half in their initial consultation and tell them, okay, yes, we are going to get you from this corrective care into maintenance care. We're going to get you feeling good and get your body back in working order. But then it's your responsibility to keep it there and to maintain that. And and that's where maintenance treatments come in. And I have people coming in at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on their stress level and activity level and what their body needs. So the goal is to maintain healthy, as opposed to go, 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 crash, and then constantly fix.
Yeah. I hear what's becoming abundantly clear just in talking to the two of you is that we're treating this as like the pit stop during the Indy 500 instead of instead of it being a consistent part of our health plan, where we're not waiting to be injured or in pain, or sick, but we're doing it prior and therefore reducing the amount we are getting injured and sick.
Right.
So I want to get both your opinions on this. Nicole, I'll start with you. You mentioned a lot of your people are coming to you as a last resort, and I've already mentioned that Birgit, I last resorted her.
Right.
So that must be a frustrating position for you guys to be in, because you have all this knowledge and this ability to help people, yet they don't see you as their first stop. They see you as, I'm tired of doctors and medication. Why do you think that is? Why, for you, Nicole, why is our attitude that way?
I think part of it is that there's still little education on alternative medicine and Chinese medicine and acupuncture, and people just don't know. They don't have the education. Every now and then you'll see an article about acupuncture in a magazine, and most of the time it relieves pain. And people also, there's, even though the needles are almost hair thin and they're only going in about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, and you don't feel them most of the time, especially once they're in, you just get to relax and you shouldn't feel them at all.
I vouch for that.
Yeah, people just have an issue with needles. The idea of laying there and getting poked with 10 to 15 needles doesn't sound relaxing.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, unless you have a friend, a family member, a colleague that's actually experienced it and says, no, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But what I think, we are a last resort to many people, but what I've noticed in the last 18 years of practice is that acupuncture is being talked about way more now than it was 18 years ago now.
Agreed.
And now, before, when I first started, I would meet someone in an elevator and I would say, I'm an acupuncturist, and they're like, oh. Like it was this weird, like you don't know many. And now I go into an elevator like, I have an acupuncturist, and my mom has an acupuncturist, and everybody in my office has an acupuncturist. Now it's becoming more of a thing, which it's back to the education, and people are talking more. And for me, it's, even if it is a last resort, when people come in that way, it's exciting for me, because now I have an opportunity to give them a whole different viewpoint and educate them on what it actually can do and how it can make a huge difference. And they can actually, their life can look different, because they can start living their life from a place of preventative care, of like every day is healthy. And then when they do get sick, they come in for 1 or 2 extra treatments that month, and that cold is gone in 24 to 48 hours, as opposed to this lingering cough for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep. No, it makes a lot of sense. Birgit, do you want to add anything to that? Because I know you have the same challenges in your world.
Correct. I think when it comes to nutrition, people are not educated how powerful foods are, either way. That's one reason. I think the other really big reason is fear.
Yeah, that's fair.
The fear of change, the fear that I might take away foods that they love, things like that. Because when it comes to eating, there are a lot of emotions involved in this.
Yeah.
So usually people come to me when the pain of where they are is bigger than the pain of change.
I guess in a way that, even though that, I would hate as a business owner that everyone kept telling me, well, I've tried everything else, so I'll give you a try. It can't be good for the ego. But what I do know about it, and what I'm hearing you recognize, is that they're probably more open to it in that position than they would have been in any other position, because they've already tapped out all the typical things or all the usuals, and they're so frustrated, they're open-minded now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't find it frustrating working with those people at all. To me, it's actually very rewarding, because it does give us a chance to help them.
Do you both, and this is for both of you, do you think working, owning a business in a city like San Diego, where we seem to be a pretty health conscious city, we're outdoors all the time, do you think that is beneficial to your businesses? Would it be more challenging, say back east?
I don't think so. Actually, in the beginning of my business, I found the opposite to be true, because
Wow.
Most people here perceive themselves to be healthy, having a healthy lifestyle. Oh, I don't need you.
Right.
Yeah. And then when you think of the facts, for example, yes, it's beautiful in San Diego, but it is the number 6 on the list of the cities with the highest pollution. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
not that healthy anymore.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, with air pollution.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Nicole, what about you? What do you think about being a business owner in San Diego, doing what you do?
I think, well, the first thing that pops into my head is that it's beautiful and there's a lot of things going on. I think the stress level here is super high, especially since, like I said, the large majority of my clients are women and moms. And they're stressed out moms. I mean, they've got these kids that they're taking to multiple things, and then they're trying to, take care of the house and take care of their husbands and everything, take care of everything. And they're not putting themselves, not even first. I mean, forget first, they don't even put themselves 5th sometimes. And they're just like exhausted. Yeah. And so that's what I like, that I get to be someone there, because they come in and they're so happy and grateful to have a place where they can go and do something for themselves. Yeah. And they be feeling recharged and re-energized, and they feel better about themselves, that, okay, now I can go and give something back to my family, and because I've done something for myself, because women take care of everybody else before they take care of themselves. And this is a very high stress, go, because it's so sunny and it's always,
we're active.
We're here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a great point, and I didn't even think of that, but you're right. I mean, I was raised by a single mom. I know what she went through, and especially raising a kid like me. But, and I was a single dad for a while. I went through a divorce and spent a lot of time alone raising my son, and I know the stresses of that. And we use the old airline analogy, and my bride is a flight attendant, so it's funny, we talk about the fact that you got to put the mask on you first before you can help anyone else, because if you're unconscious, you can't help anyone. And if you're dealing with people with what's left of you instead of the best of you, you're not giving them all you could give them as a mom or a parent. But, it's funny, because my bride always says, I can always tell the parents when they come on, because they have this look on their face like, kill me, please. It's just, and then because the mom comes on, and then the kids come in tow, and the dad's, just bared down with all the bags and the toys and all that. And it's just, they're all going on this happy vacation, yet they all look like they're going to the firing squad.
Right.
So, but you bring up something that is what, and this is for both of you, is what you do for adults only, or do you treat children?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I love working with children because it is so much easier. They don't have their head in the game. So it's really cool to see how fast they turn around, and there is a lot of pressure on kids nowadays. I always say it's like me, and I was so lucky the way I grew up, roaming the woods and meadows and spending time outside unsupervised. Yeah. And nowadays kids have a tight schedule. I'm sorry for them. So helping them cope with all of that better, and just helping their little bodies deal with it better with supplementation, for example, or educating the parents how to feed them properly, makes all the world of a difference. And it's fun, because they usually have a lot of fun. They giggle and they think cool when you
What age in for Be Balanced, when do you want to start seeing kids? At what age is appropriate to start them?
any.
It does. Okay, so there's no limit.
Yeah, I work with moms to be, so that's where it's already taking into consideration what does the fetus need in regards to supplementation and proper nutrition. And then usually when the kid is born, usually after a few weeks, I bring them in. And yeah.
Okay, what about you, Nicole?
A lot of the same as Birgit was saying, as far as they bounce back so easily. They love treatments. I can acupuncture smaller kids, but usually I don't start that till around 8 or 10. Before that, I have little tools that I use to tap or scrape on different pressure points, or I'll add in massage. And start from infant. A lot of times I'll just teach parents some different acupressure points and massage techniques that they can use at home, just to help digestive issues, or colic and different things, or where we're starting with kids and looking at food allergies. But for me, also beyond that, is I love that we get to start this generation of kids so early. So most of my parents, they come in and they start their kid with helping them get over eczema or allergies or something, and then it was like, okay, well, let's get them in once a month for their maintenance treatments. And you've got these kids that are starting at 5 years old coming in for just treatments just to be healthy. And they love being here and they're excited, and we're training them to look at their bodies differently, to focus on health as opposed to disease. And that's exciting to me, to have that opportunity to work with this whole generation of looking at health from a totally different perspective. And
I would imagine that helps the parents too, because if the kids are in the know, I know as a parent, I used to hate it when my son learned something, because I'm like, now I'm held to that standard. Right. So do you find that helps the parents in keeping the nutrition and the healthy lifestyle?
I think so. I've had parents call me up and say, okay, well, little Joey, he was walking around and he had a stuffy nose and he kept blowing his nose, and he came up to me, he's like, Mom, you have to call Miss Nicole. I need to go in for my treatment. I think it's time. She needs to give me my herbs and take care of my cold before it gets worse. She's like, he's telling me when he needs to go in.
Nice.
I'm like, this is great. He's on top of knowing that he wants to be well. He doesn't want to get into he doesn't want to be at home sick. Kids are great because they're just like, I want to get back out and play right now.
Yeah.
And if we can instill that type of thinking, that they take that into adulthood, then we're going to have a whole different generation of just really healthy people.
Wow. Well, I love it. I love that you guys, that you both work with kids and adults. It seems like the more people in the family get on board, the more success potential they have as a family. Because I know that's hard, especially if one person's changing their meal plan and the rest of the family's not on board with it. That can be very challenging. Right. I'm going to shift gears one more time. I know we're almost out of time, but I have a couple more questions. Practical question here. When is healthcare going to catch up with what you do? Why isn't most of what you do, or any of what you do, covered by healthcare? Or is there any part of what you do that healthcare does cover that I'm not aware of?
As far as I know, acupuncture sometimes is covered by healthcare.
Okay.
Nutrition still isn't.
Yeah.
And I am a firm believer that the reason is that sickness is a very big business in this country.
Wow.
So there is not a lot of focus on prevention or even healing naturally, because the other big power partner is the pharmaceutical industry.
Right. Interesting. What about you, Nicole? Any thoughts?
I actually did take insurance for about a whopping 9 months.
Really? So why did you drop it? Did you find it to be too cumbersome?
Yeah, there's a couple reasons. I think I was still a small building practice, and it was literally a whole other job to bill insurance for nothing, for no return. And I took out the first patient I worked with, I added it all up. I spent about 15 hours with him with treatments, and then the time I spent just filling out the information, sending it in, and then the insurance companies return it at least 2 to 3 times, saying, no, that's not the right code.
Yeah.
Change the code, do this, and then you're on the phone on hold. So out of 15 hours of time spent, I finally received a check for $150.
Wow.
And that's just, I can't survive that way. And so that was, I think if you're a bigger practice and you have more rooms going, a lot of the acupuncturists that I know that bill insurance, they're the bigger practices that have 2 or 3 or 4 rooms going, and they can see 3 or 4 people per hour.
Right.
And have someone else actually doing all their billing and taking care of it, because it really is a whole other full-time job. And insurance companies don't want to pay. And
I've heard it takes a while to get you.
Yeah, you can wait 6 months to a year to get paid, and so it's really hard. And but I think there's still acupuncturists out lobbying, trying to get more acupuncture and health insurance, and we're getting there. I know chiropractors fought it for decades, and now almost every health plan you can find has chiropractic. So.
Yep, mine does. I was excited to learn that.
Yeah.
But I think you both of you make excellent points, because I mean, not to scream conspiracy, but I think, Birgit, you hit it. I mean, there's just too much big business in healthcare and pharmaceutical to back preventative maintenance, if you will, preventative health. And Nicole, what you said is not unusual. I knew a physical therapist that went through billing issues all the time. He finally quit and went independent because he just got tired of dealing with insurance. And I know a lot of my doctor, my primary care doctor, quit UCSD Medical Center because he said I can't make a living, which is insane. Because when we were kids, if you were a doctor, a lawyer, or a pilot, you were you were guaranteed to be driving a Ferrari and living in a mansion. Right? At least that was the image. But gosh, it's just crazy the way it's turned.
Yeah.
I want to end on a question for each of you, and Birgit, I'll start with you. Is there a question I didn't ask that I should have, or a piece of advice that you want to end the show on for people listening?
A piece of advice I probably would say is to be open-minded and not to dismiss something that is run by you with your eyes and ears closed, so to speak, but to give it a thought and say, well, maybe I don't have all the information I need to make an informed decision, whether I like it or not.
All right. Nicole, how about you?
I would say take a moment to really look at your life and feel how you feel in your body. And are you living the life that you really, do you feel as healthy as you want to feel? Do you feel as awesome as you want to feel on a daily basis? And you have the choice to make that option, and it's a really easy shift. And the great thing about what people don't really understand about the preventative care is that you may spend, if you come in, I charge $60 for a half-hour treatment. So if you come in twice a month, you're spending $120 a month for maintenance care. And what they don't see is that when they wait and wait and wait and wait until it's really an issue, then you're going to be coming in twice a week for 8 to 12 weeks sometimes to get back to where you were. And that's way more expensive all at once, as opposed to just having it in your budget as something like gas for your car, food, groceries. $120 is just your line of wellness, and you were creating a whole life of your life will shift, and you'll see a difference, and you're going to be healthy ongoing. And I have people telling me all the time, like, you know what, I went through this whole year and I didn't get sick. I didn't get a cold at all. And I usually get 2 to 3 colds between November and they're just like, that, it wasn't amazing enough for me. And just, you start to see those little things of how your life can just feel healthy and happy ongoing, and just really check into your body and what do you want that to look and feel like.
Oh, it's sound advice. I mean, what I'm hearing from both of you is that, you know, I got to be willing to maybe I keep driving that car instead of getting the new car that increases my car payment, and then allocate what I'm saving for preventative maintenance. Like I go to Birgit regularly. I see her at least once a quarter and sometimes more, depending on what's going on with me. And, you know, I've just shifted and said, okay, well, you know, this has become a priority. And folks, one thing I'll share with you, as I approach 50, you know, maintaining the body has become a high priority. and it's a lot more work when you haven't done so in your 30s and 40s. So for our younger listeners, now's the time to start. Because it's more expensive and more difficult and more time consuming when you wait, and you have this cumulative effect that you're trying to work against. So I have made adjustments in my budget to make Birgit just a part of my regular program, the same as my personal trainer. You know, working out with a trainer has become a regular part of my day. And maybe I don't go to Starbucks every day anymore. Birgit wouldn't want me to do that anyhow. So I want to thank you both for being on the show today, and for sharing not only what you can do to help people, but a little bit about how you got started in business, because this show is all about entrepreneurs and sales and small business and a little bit of real estate once in a while. I want to give you an opportunity, both, Nicole, we'll start with you. Just tell people if they want more information or to book an appointment with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
You can either email me at remembertobreathecenter@gmail.com, or you can call the office at 858-291-8581. All
right. And Birgit, how about you?
Same email would be great. info@bbalanced, and that is BBALANCED.net, or my phone is 619-379-1276.
All right. And I'll have all your contact information at the end of the show notes on our YouTube channel, as well as you can reach out to me, Thomas J. Nelson. I'm a San Diego realtor with Big Block Realty, but I network to get my business that I get and the referrals that I earn. It's all through business-to-business networking and repeat clients that send me referrals. And one of the things I love to do is make sure that my referral partners are successful. And that's why I like to have folks like you on the show to get your business out there, because I think what you're doing for people is fantastic. I know I've been benefiting from it. And Nicole, it was so nice to meet you today.
You too.
And thank you both for being on the show and for making San Diegans a little healthier.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Thomas. Yes.
It's been a pleasure. All right, folks, we'll see you next time on Postcards from Success. You can check out the show on iTunes, as well as the video version of the show on YouTube. We'll see you next time.